the students who witnessed his killing. So this, a moment of unity during tense times. Neda Tawfiq, BBC News in Orem, Utah.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Barry Donadio, a former Secret Service agent in the US. Thanks so much for being with us today. This manhunt continues. What do you know? What can you tell us about the psychology of being on the run from those who have been in this situation before? Because also many people are asking, how can someone escape like this so quickly, given the information that clearly was left behind and the fact that there is so much, camera footage available that the authorities have said they've got?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think this shooter is just somebody who did make a plan, certainly not the best plan, and it seemed like this was just an exciting adventure for him until he gets caught. He's lucky he didn't get caught right away because, as we see from the surveillance video, somebody from college security was obviously zoned in on him, panning the camera, following him from when he jumped off the roof until he ran across the street. It just looks like they couldn't get a police unit over to him quick enough to confront him, and he was able to blend into the crowd. But he almost got caught right there. He is going to get caught. It's only a matter of time, and I'm pretty certain that my colleagues, Kash Patel, director of the FBI, and Dan Bongino, who I worked with in the Secret Service, they're very capable. They know what they're doing. It's only a matter of time, and this shooter has left plenty of DNA for them to follow and figure out who he is. So I suspect they have a pretty good clue of who he is. And also, now that we're seeing on this end, even on Twitter, there are people, whether it's coming from the FBI or not, citizens are comparing people that have spoke on the microphone, asking questions to Mr. Kirk, and they came up with someone that almost looks the same. They're suspecting it could be him. So there is a lot going on in this case. It is developing by the minute.
But in Utah, if he's still in that part of the country, I mean, how difficult is it for the authorities to physically track him, even if they knew his identity?
Well, I suspect he's hiding under a rock somewhere. Harder to find him if he's in the middle of the woods in a treehouse or under a rock somewhere and not moving, or there's no surveillance camera that can pick him up. Also, many times in these horrible scenarios, he may have already killed himself. Now you're just looking for a body. So nobody knows, but based on what I'm seeing, he seems to want to live. He seems to be that he wants to escape. And this is just an exciting adventure for him, like so many misguided young people that do something like this until they get caught, of course, and the reality catches up with them and they're in a jail cell. But it's almost like a video game for them. I did see the rifle that he used or alleged to use. It is a rifle of a large caliber. It is a .30-06, and that bullet was used by American forces all the way back in World War I. It is an effective bullet, even used as a sniper bullet into the Vietnam War era by U.S. forces. And this young man, yes, he knows how to shoot. He had a high-powered scope. A hunter could make that shot, but it's not an easy shot, and he was able to pull it off. So I suspect that he was trained. He took a lot of time planning this out and getting his mission complete.
And when you say trained, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, he certainly practiced. I don't think he just picked up this rifle and got lucky and pointed it and hit Mr. Kirk. He had to sight in that rifle for his eyesight. He may even be a former military member. I don't know for certain. But to do everything he did with the rifle he did, there would be some practice at a minimum, going to the shooting range, practicing, making sure the rifle is set to your eyesight and making sure you're even able to make the shot.
In that case, is he someone potentially who does also know how to escape?
Yeah, I do see in the video that he's got himself one heck of a limp. So I'm suspect of that. I don't know if that happened before he did the shooting or when he literally jumped off the roof. He had to jump and fall off of a two-story roof, and I wonder if he twisted his ankle. So he's in no condition to be running. That's why I suspect he's held up somewhere. He may even try to burglarize or even rob a pharmacy to maybe get pain medicine, because some of the video I see of him leaving the scene, he looks like he's limping terribly. He may have sprained his ankle.
And again, just to try to understand the psychology of this person, without wanting to overly speculate, of course, but if someone is on the run, they still need food supplies, water, you know, they still need to be able to carry on, don't they? So, and therefore that would potentially leave a trail.
Yes, if he's alive, there will be some other evidence somewhere along the way, and people calling out descriptions. And don't be shy. If you see something or know something or even have some conclusion, please call the FBI. Bigger cases have been cracked just simply by a citizen calling in and giving one piece of information, and that could be the big piece of the puzzle that they're looking for.
Just finally, there's been a lot of comment on the lack of security. Now, America's a democracy. Its politicians of all colours and commentators pride themselves on being able to be free and open and meet the public all across the country. Can you tell us whether you think, from what you've seen, the security is what you'd predict, or should there have been more?
So it's a great question. I've been asked this before. It's a little bit of a long answer. We have to remember that he is not a president. He is a private citizen, just like myself. And, you know, he's a performer on a stage, essentially. And yes, he had a very good protective detail. I did analyze them. They seem to be former members of special forces or the SEALs, and now in the private sector. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. The issue is, I highly doubt they were set up to prevent a sniper. Who would have thought a sniper would try to kill Kirk? Or even if this was a music band on a stage, who would think a sniper would go and do something like that? So in the private sector, remember, clients, they have to pay, just like Mr. Kirk. All of that security comes out of his own pocket. So that's a tremendous amount of money. It can run in the thousands and thousands of dollars for each event. And I own a private security firm. We do exactly like what you've seen with his private security doing. We protect clients, high-risk clients, and money is always an object, unfortunately. If we were to cover that event correctly and prevent snipers, you would have to have a paid either police officer or private security officer denying access to those roofs by being up there. That would only raise the cost and make it an enormous amount. And quite frankly, if you are performing for years and nothing ever happens, it is very hard for a client to rationalize spending, you know, up to $10,000, even $20,000 on security just to cover rooftops.
Donadio, former Secret Service agent, very good to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.